Hello and welcome to the Race All-Star Series, fully charged by rocket phones. Once again, with real-life motorsport on the back burner for the time being, we are back in the virtual world with some racing on R-Factor 2. All the drivers, like myself, are self-isolating at home, and we've brought together some of the strongest drivers in the world to go head-to-head. We've got real-life racing drivers from Formula1, IndyCar, former Formula 1 drivers, up against some of the best talent that the sim racing world has to offer. We also have the Legends Trophy, where we've got heroic former drivers like Jacques Villeneuve, Jenson Button, Dario Franchitti, all going head-to-head in 1970s McLaren Formula 1 cars. It really is a sight to behold. These stars of the past will have two races, one of them a reverse grid race, the other one there's $10,000 up for grabs to go to a charity of their choice. And there's more than 40 professional real-world racing drivers competing head-to-head with the sim racers. The format for the All-Star Cup sees our pro drivers split into two heats. The top 5 from each progress through to the final. The top sim racers in the world also race in one heat, again with the top 5 progressing. We then have the Jones Soda Last Chance qualifier. This is for all the pro drivers who have not qualified for the finals yet. The top 5 again going to the final. Then we have the grand finale with 20 drivers, a mix of real and sim stars at the wheel. They'll battle it out on track in a 20-minute race. The action will take place at Lime Rock Park, USA. The pro drivers will be in Le Mans prototypes, while the legends are in McLaren M23 classic Formula 1 cars. We're in week 2 of a 3-week championship in the Pro Cup. Erhan Yayovski is leading the championship for the sim racing drivers, and the prize at the end of that is a test in a real F1 simulator. Gabby Chavez is leading the standings for the professional racing drivers, and the prize at the end of the 3 weeks there is $30,000 to be donated to a charity of the driver's choice. So we've got 5 drivers looking to progress through from this first race straight into the grand final. Mike Epps is starting on pole position. Let's join the action. Mike Epps on pole, alongside him on the front row of the grid. Tinknell is 3rd, Galal is 4th. Wait for Mike Epps to get going. A long old hold here, and away they go. Good start from it. Bit of a wiggle, but he holds the lead. Comes across to try and get past Tinknell. There's a bit of wheel banging in behind, but Epps it is who holds the lead. In 2nd, Tinknell 3rd, Galal in 4th, and there's a million cars off at the turn 1. I think Sean Galal was one of them, maybe. Danny Ugadea was one of them. He's already dropped well out of the running, but Mike Epps holds the lead. Chaos further back.
Esteban Gutierrez as well has tumbled down, Bradley Smith with him, so a bit of skittles going on at the first corner, but it worked out perfectly for Mike Epps. You even saw from that camera angle we had, his reaction time was just that much quicker than Yifei just behind, and he's already got 8/10 in front.
First lap of 11. Here's a look at the replay of what happened then down at the first corner, and it all got very busy. Where did it kick off? I think it was Gabby Chavez was involved. Chavez has been spun around. He was into Yungadea, and everybody else sort of followed chaotically. Lap 2 of 11 in the first of the All-Star Series races, fully charged by rocket phones. Mike Epps is out in front, 1.5 seconds ahead of Yifei in 2nd place. Tinknell 3rd, Tristan Vautier 4th, Jack Aitken up into 5th place. So as it stands, Aitken would be straight through to the final. Archie Hamilton 6th, Headley, DeFrancesco, Plowman and Smith the rest of the top 10.
Aitken is he's getting up to speed with this fairly quickly actually, and now up into the top 5, which would be enough to get him through to the final. He took pole in the last chance qualifier. He took pole in last time out. He found a turn of pace and he's kept going. As has Harry Tinknell. I'm quite impressed with him up in 3rd as well, who has found a good amount. Mike Epps and Yifei both just launching over the 2nd apex of that chicane. Epps was miles off the track there.
That was some big stuff there from Mike Epps. There we can see Yifei in the inset there in the bottom left on lap 3 of 11, 2.1 seconds back from Mike Epps up in front. Harry Tinknell in 3rd. It's only about 8/10 of a second ahead of Tristan Vautier. Here's James Headley in 7th place, battling with Lachlan DeFrancesco in 8th spot. Into the first corner, DeFrancesco tries to go to the outside, but he's not going to get around there very easily, and indeed he does not. James Headley holds on to that 7th position. Jack Aitken in 5th place currently has a 1.4 second margin over Archie Hamilton, so that's quite a strong advantage for Aitken in that 5th spot. Good battle here with Bradley Smith round. Got on the grass and straight to the, I was going to say the barriers, but I think it's just a grass bank there, so that allows Esteban Gutierrez up into 10th place. Matt Griffin in 11th position. Gutierrez I expected more from as well. There you can see him in his rig, one of his many rigs that he has at home now. But 10th spot, it's going to be tough for him to climb up into the top 5 here, I think.
Well, he was last after the first lap, so Gutierrez is on a bit of a charge back. But I wonder if he was our green and white car that caused a little bit of chaos at the start. He was qualified in about that area and then did plummet back. But right now, up in 10th, he needed 5 more places though. In 4 more laps is going to be tough. Overtaking so far has not looked super easy, but there is big chance for people to make errors, because we saw with Bradley Smith just touch the grass and then was just spinning around towards that grass bank exited turn 2.
Here's a look at the replay. Oh.
Yeah, that'll do it. Gutierrez just ran into the back. It wasn't even a mistake from Bradley Smith. It was a mistake from Gutierrez. Punted his rival off the track.
Lap 8 of 11. Mike Epps is leading the way, 3.3 seconds ahead of Yufayette. Harry Tinknell's in 3rd. 4th is Vautier, and here comes Headley defending now from Esteban Gutierrez, who's on a charge. Back up the order, trying to clip into 9th place here. Sends it to the outside, but then realises he can't get around there to tuck in back behind James Headley. So they swing through the left-hander now and start to climb the hill here at Lime Rock Park. Mike Epps still leading though.
Epps doing a great job, 3.5 seconds. This has been pretty much what we saw week 1. Gutierrez all over that apex curve there, like Mike Epps. And look at the run he's got now, coming down towards the end of the lap. So close, tucked in behind Headley, all because he straight-lined that second part of the chicane and probably took a corner cut warning for it. Oh, and they both run really wide out of the final corner.
This is very, very busy down towards turn 1. Gutierrez in the green car behind James Headley in the blue car. As they swing into the right-hander. Oh, had to get on the brakes there. Almost going into the back of James Headley. Gutierrez has so much more speed, but just can't find a way at the moment because it's all these classic long sweeping corners. Under the ABK Beer Bridge and down towards the final right-hander. Out onto the start-finish straight. Mike Epps starts the penultimate lap of the race, lap 10 of 11. Gutierrez just isn't quite close enough. Doesn't get the run out of that final corner, does he? There's the mistake. Through he goes, off the track goes James Headley, and Gutierrez takes the place up into 9th.
Quick as a flash. There we go. That's Gutierrez has got really great pace. He's just been struggling to make that overtake. And there, James Headley just running wide and Gutierrez straight through. So up into 9th place. What's he got to Plowman ahead? He's got about a second there to the blue car just ahead of Gutierrez in the green and white. And we're on the last lap. I don't think he's going to get there.
No, it doesn't look like it, does it? Here is Mike Epps, though. No one's going to get near him. 4.5 seconds in the lead over Yufayette. This is a really strong performance from Mike Epps. This makes me think he could be battling with the sim racers, potentially, come the final, because it's just been absolutely commanding from Epps as he comes over the crest. Was so busy last time out at Sebring, but this is more like the race I think he would have wanted as he comes under the ABK Beer Bridge, down through the final corner, and Mike Epps books himself a place in the final, comes over to the pit wall to take the checkered flag, and the applause from the imaginary team, and it's a win for Mike Epps. Here's a look at the results. Mike Epps taking the victory, Yufayette in 2nd place, Tinknell 3rd, Vautier 4th, and Jack Aitken completing the top 5. Mike, you were very busy last time out in Sebring. Are you hoping for a bit of a quieter final this time around?
Yeah, I've taken all the target stickers off my rear end, so I'm hoping that that's gonna really help. So we'll see how my pace compares to the sim guys, because some of them have been a little bit quicker than me in testing naturally. But yeah, so there we go. All good so far.
Mike Epps disappeared with that one, taking the win ahead of Yifeyer. I was very impressed with Harry Tinknell, actually, who's getting better and better as the races progress and as the weeks go on. But next up, when we return, we've got the first in the Legends races. It's going to be thrilling. Make sure you come back. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series. What a race we've got coming up for you next. It's the Legends that are going to go wheel to wheel at Lime Rock Park in 1970s McLarens. We've got Jenson Button, Emerson Fittipaldi is out there, as is Dario Franchitti. Some huge names from the past of motorsport about to go wheel to wheel in the virtual world. Jenson Button is starting on pole position. Let's see what he can do after winning last week.
Here we go. Wait for the lights. Button on pole, Kanaan second. And away we go. Immediately pulls to the inside in the blue and white car. Tonio Liuzzi sending one up the inside, and there is Magnussen wheel to wheel with Button, and he squeezes him out wide. Button drops to second place, might be third because Emanuele Pirro is getting involved in the fight as well. But Jan Magnussen forcefully takes the lead. Button is second, Pirro's round. Emanuele Pirro, sitting on a fishing chair in his home, is now facing backwards at the first corner. Jan Magnussen into the lead.
Yeah, what a shame for Pirro, who had a great start, but not as good a start as Jan Magnussen. Absolutely launched off the line. It was all about the reaction time. Before Button had even got going, Magnussen was coming alongside, and now he leads the 2009 Formula 1 champ by 8/10. But Button was on pole. He's been the quickest man so far. Let's see if he can respond.
This was the move into the first corner. Really bold stuff. Oh, and there was some chaos further back. Absolute carnage further back. Looks as though everybody's managed to keep going. But up at the front, it's Jan Magnussen, 0.6 of a second, nay 4/10 ahead of Jenson Button. Button is on a mission here. Tony Kanaan coming with them. Then there's a bit of a gap back to Mika Salo in fourth. Tonio Liuzzi in fifth. Darren Turner up into fifth. And there's the move from Button as he can't quite get through. All over the curbs on the inside. Can't make the move just yet coming into the chicane. But he needs to be careful. But Tony Kanaan is right behind him. This is brilliant. We haven't really had a proper battle at the front of the Legends race yet. They've been great, they've been fun, but we have a race now.
Yeah, Magnussen won 2 weeks ago. Jenson Button won last week. Kanaan has yet to win, and they're all battling now for top spot. And that really concertina because Magnussen got in way too hot for the chicane, and Button got a super run coming out. So Magnussen, he's got to not crack under pressure here as they come up to the chicane again. Jenson's really quick, but if Magnussen could just keep braking points, apexes, keep on the right part of the track, then it is not that easy to overtake.
Under the ABK Beer Bridge and down towards the final corner. Button turns in, gets on the power. He's right in the slipstream here, Jan Magnussen. And you can see the slipstream working. Is Magnussen going to defend? No, Button has the inside line. He's laid on the brakes. Oh, he's lost it. He's sideways. He just keeps it together. You saw the camera in the bottom left. He suddenly gave it full opposite lock. And it took a couple of seconds for the game to catch up. And we saw what had happened. They both nearly went off at turn one.
Unbelievable car control from the two of them there. Button on the inside. Magnussen, I think, probably should have defended the inside on the straight rather than try and outbrake the man on his inside at the corner, and actually really risked it by turning in on Jenson there. But they both got away with it somehow. Status quo still at the top, and Magnussen somehow holds on for another lap, but we're not yet at half distance. I am surprised that Kanan's not more in the mix here. He must have made a mistake on the last lap.
He did. On the last lap, coming up through the chicane, he ended up jumping onto the grass. Darren Turner has just emerged from the pits. He was running in 5th place, so he's obviously got involved in some scraps. Magnussen leading, Button second. There is Tony Kanaan in 3rd spot, dropping away a little bit. Dario Franchitti in 6th place now, as he tries to close in on Adrian Fernandez in front of him. Franchitti, the first race winner, as he swings through the left and the right, getting up on the curbs. He's in front of David Brabham. Emanuele Pirro's recovered to 8th place. And Jason Plato, in his first race in the championship, is up into 9th position, which is a decent effort. I don't know if I've ever seen Jason Plato drive a rear-wheel drive car in my life with my own eyes.
He used to race single-seaters, didn't he? I didn't
No,
watch
I know,
him when
but
he
I
was in Formula Vauxhall in 1992 or whatever it was, but he has done.
Here comes Franchitti up the inside of Adrian Fernandez, down into turn 1. And he gets through. Oh, Fernandez comes back at him and he's on the grass. And look at Franchitti, not happy at all. Absolutely furious. He's in the Armco, a shake of the head. Oh, and Pirro, and what? Everything's going off. Brabham was flying off the circuit there. And Pirro is up into 5th position. Plato is up into 6th. Castro Neves, Franchitti, Fernandez, Brabham, the rest of the top 10. There is Brabham coming back onto the circuit behind Brian Herta.
So Franchitti lost out at turn 1, Brabham lost out at turn 3, and all the while we've got a fantastic battle still going on between Magnussen and Button, who are pretty much side by side, if we can cut to them, because that is for the race lead. Here we go.
Through the first corner, Button was in the slipstream, but he couldn't make the move stick. Lap 8 of 13. Absolutely nose to tail. We go on board with Jenson Button in the inset. Back on the power now, and he's got a really good drive out of there, but surely not in chicane. He's thinking about it, No, no, no.
Magnussen's got in a bit hot, though. Here we go. Jenson on the exit might get a run if he can get to the inside. He can't quite. What a race between these two. Button is piling on the pressure to Magnussen, but he's just about managing to hold on the Dane.
I love this. Bit of a slide there from Button as he came into turn 2. Wonderful cars to watch these legends racing. They're 4-wheel drifting all the way.
Jenson's really, really wringing the neck of that car. Look at that. He's so close to the back of Magnussen into the chicane. Somehow they didn't touch. But Jenson is pushing like mad. Button just behind Magnussen for the race lead. If anything happens between the two of them, Kanaan is still within touching distance in the red car in 3rd. But this is phenomenal. Button again 4-wheel drifting out of the final corner.
Oh, Brian Herta facing the wrong way, further back in the field as he tries to recover. Lap 11 of 13, Jenson Button attacking and Magnussen as they come over the crest. Has he got it? Looks to the inside. Oh, not quite. There's nothing between them as they come now under the ABK Beer Bridge. Round the final corner again. This has got to be the move, hasn't it? He hasn't been this close before, out onto the back straight. We've got the rear view from Jan Magnussen up into the top right. Button's closing. Not enough.
Magnussen was deep on the brakes though, and Button closes again through the apex. Can he get the exit to just pressurise Jan Magnussen around this penultimate lap? I think Jenson's going to go for it. I can't see Button just sticking behind Magnussen when he's this close. It must be so frustrating for him to be this close. He is clearly quicker, but Magnussen is driving the perfect defensive race right now.
Lap 12 of 13, the penultimate lap, so this is Button's last run towards the first corner, but back markers.
That's the last thing that Magnussen needs right now is the back markers. It's is that Emerson, Papis or Herta that they're coming around to lap? Oh, fair play. They got right out of the way. And Button can't get through there. Right onto the apex. Almost hits the back of Magnussen through there. And look at this into turn 2. This is a chance.
Quite able to pull it off, Button. He's rapidly running out of opportunities to make the overtake on Jan Magnussen. Just half a lap to go as they come down towards the chicane. It's been a brilliant race in this Legends Trophy. Button, oh, sends it sideways, across the curb, across the grass, still right up behind Magnussen, but I think Magnussen surely is going to hold on. Button won't have a look into the final corner, you wouldn't have thought. Down they come, into the right-hander, and what a brilliant race this has been in the Legends Trophy. Won across the line by Jan Magnussen. Button's going to pull out of the slipstream as they come towards the line, but it's Magnussen who wins by 3/100ths of a second. What a race from two legendary drivers, and Button looked absolutely spent after that.
Oh, he must be so frustrated, but what a race we just witnessed between Magnussen and Button for the race win in the Legends. Epic stuff, really fair stuff as well between the two. Just the one time that they touched down at turn one, it was only a slight touch that was beautifully held. Phenomenal race.
It was the win for Jan Magnussen, Jenson Button second, and in all of that, somehow Tony Kanaan dropped away and Mika Salo ended up on the podium. So great drive from Mika Salo. Pirro, despite having about 1 million crashes, ended up in 4th position. Now we can hear from our first two in that race. Jan Magnussen, you had a lot of pressure there to hold on to that win. Great race.
Yeah, no, that was a fantastic race. Jensen was being very sportsmanlike about it. He had more speed than me. He had a couple of goes into one, and we hit and got sideways, but he did it in such a perfect way that none of us came off. So I'm so happy. That was a tough race. I'm shaking all over.
Congratulations, Jan. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we can check in with Jenson Button, who didn't quite manage to take the victory there. But Jenson, you were so close. We loved that. That was brilliant racing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was made a little bit more difficult for me at the start because, I can't see a flag man. I hear the beeps, and I thought I went at the right time, but obviously not. But what a fun race. Jan was awesome in terms of he knew where to put the car, and I threw out the inside once, and we tapped, and we were drifting through two, which was it's a lot of fun, and it's a little bit more difficult in the rear in the sim. So for us to be able to race that close to the end, awesome.
Great. Well, congratulations. Enjoy the reverse grid race.
Yeah.
Well, those two really enjoyed that, didn't they? Congratulating each other at the end. And it is Jan Magnussen that takes away that $10,000 that he is going to donate to a children's hospital in Denmark. When we come back, we've got more action from the professional racing drivers here on the Race All-Star Series. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series. Next up, we've got the second race for the professional racing drivers. The top 5 go straight through to the final. Dennis Lind, who crashed out of the final last week, is going to be starting on pole position. Let's see if he can book his place there.
The revs rise. A long hold and the races go. Decent start from Dennis Lind. What a start from Ed Jones. Trying to peel through the middle of them immediately. Down towards turn 1, and Lind's been bulked, and there's 3 off. Surely, no. They all somehow stay on the circuit, but Max Gunter's in the lead. Lind recovers into second place. Someone's heading straight to the barriers. I think that's Harry Newey. Dennis Lind in second. Third for Kevin Hansen. Fourth for Ed Jones, who got a rocket start, but couldn't do anything about gaining paces. But Max Gunter it is now, who's in the lead, with Dennis Lind in the bottom left there in second place.
Yeah, Ed Jones got a rocket start, but also Max Gunter on the inside. So Lynn was the one that lost out. Jones then just had a slight touch with Gunter and then lost out all of his hard work down at turn 1. So started third, pretty much took the lead, but then was on the wrong line, got muscled out back at turn 1. But Gunter leads from Lind, 8/10 the gap, but a bit like the last race, the pole man losing out, and now we got Lind, who's been so quick so far, trying to chase down for the lead.
Look at this, it was 4 wide into turn 1. I was convinced they were all going off the circuit there. Lind, he dropped down to 5th and then came up the inside and came back past them all. Further up the order, it was Collado that hit off Harry there, I think.
Yeah, Lind's racecraft there was exemplary down at turn 1. He was in a shocking position down to the braking zone. Saw it all happening, managed to basically undercut everyone on the exit. Everyone went in a bit deep. Lind then managed to see a gap at the apex on the inside, launched for it. Luckily, there was no one going in deep behind him to tip him into a spin. And he managed to emerge somehow in second because his start was poor. And he's got away with that with a brilliant piece of driving down at turn 1.
Lap 4 of 11, Max Gunter leading. Ingram in 9th place ahead of Michael Benya here in 10th position. Still, Collado has got a decent advantage over Johnny Adam in battle over 5th position in the final advancing point. Dennis Lind now just half a second away from Max Gunter. Now
yeah, this is going to be the fight.
Gunter.
Lind and Gunter separated by only 16 thousandths in qualifying, and now Lind trying to get back towards Max Gunter in the race. Drivers, they're really abusing the track limits through that chicane, but getting away with it so far, and often just dropping a wheel on the exit of the following corner, that final corner. But they also seem to be getting away with that so far as well. So that's why you got these dust and bit of dirt kicked up. Just drivers dropping a wheel here or there, but so far managing to keep it pretty tidy and not losing any pace with it. This is the battle for the lead. Look how close Dennis Lind is now, 3/10. We could be set for another thriller, just under 5 laps to go, and Lind now pressuring Gunter heavily.
Through the final corner, out over the start, finish straight. Once more to start lap 7 of 11. Lind just under half a second away from Max Gunter in front. As they come into turn 1, they're both pulling away from Kevin Hansen in 3rd place. There's a yellow flag. Someone's off in sector 1, not sure who that is. It's not a front runner, so not a huge concern. Collado's 5th, although Johnny Adams within a second now of James Collado, so that battle could run and run. Lind, though, just edging closer and closer to Gunter, but not right on the back of him just yet. Look how much curb they take. Amazing.
That was it Newey or Jack Doohan going off out of the pit lane down at turn 1? Not their finest moment.
Lap 8 of 11. Gunter leading, Lind second. Those are the two we're watching now, down through the final corner to start lap 9 of 11. And if anything, Gunter's had a really good lap here and pulled away from Dennis Lind.
Yeah, Lind and Gunter both very comfortable. My Caps might be less comfortable seeing this because they're 4.6 seconds clear of Hansen and co in 3rd downwards. Hansen still with Jones and Collado for company. But this is a My Caps style of drive from Heat 1. Gunter with Lind, the two of them clearly the class of the field. And if X just had eyes on the sim drivers, you might want to watch out for these two as well, because they both look like they're breezing into the final. Lind, I think, with the challenge just dwindling slightly in these closing laps, it doesn't really matter. They're both going to go through. It's just about being in the top 5 right now, which they'll surely do. This is where it's much closer, though.
Yeah, Johnny Adam right up behind James Collado as they come out over the start-finish line to start the penultimate lap of the race. There is Johnny Adam on the bottom left. He's trying to make a move on Collado and book himself a place in the final. So this is where it's all up for grabs on this penultimate lap, and he's closed in, to be fair. He was about 1.2, 1.3 seconds back from Collado earlier on. Now he's within half a second of the Englishman.
Yeah, and I think Adam started in the top 5 as well, so he lost out on the start, and basically is trying to recover from that 10 laps later. Lap to go after this one. Through the chicane, launching over the grass, and not really able to catch Collado too much there. If anything, Collado looks closer to Ed Jones ahead.
Max Gunter, though, out of the final corner to start the final lap. You wonder whether he's just backed off a little bit from, or whether Dennis Lind has just backed off a little bit. It's very close behind between Hansen, Jones, Collado and Adam, as we saw, but there is Max Gunter in the inset now, making his final lap of the race. Collado now closer to Ed Jones than Adam is to Collado. But Max Gunter with a very strong drive, really in the zone for this one. In the inset, in the top right, you can see that battle for 5th position. And there's the look. Oh, that's a bold one going into the chicane from Johnny Adam. Thought he'd gone for it, didn't quite work out. But meanwhile, Max Günther down through the final corner to win the second pro driver race in the race All-Star Series. He's happy with that. A pump of the fist. Günther, Lind, Hatton, Jones, Collado, the top 5.
Great drive from Max Günther to beat Dennis Lind, but the two of them still advance through to the final. The next 5 spots up for grabs are going to go to the sim racers. Erhan Yayovski won the race last time out in Sebring. He's starting on pole position for this one. He's going to be a tough man to beat. Let's see if anyone can.
Here come the lights. Wisniewski second, Siggy third, Huis fourth. Yayovski on the inset bottom left. Revs rise. Race is underway. Great start from Yayovski. Good start as well from third place. Kevin Siggy, he might be able to jump Wisniewski on the run down to turn 1, and he has. So Yayovski leads, Siggy second, Wisniewski in third spot. It's side by side between Huis and Brzezinski for fourth position, and I think Bono Huis has just about managed to get it. Then it's side by side between Brzezinski and Rudy van Buren. And van Buren is in sixth position. Someone's gone off big time. I think that's Pinto. I think Nuno Pinto's just had a big off further back. But Yayovski, Siggy, Wisniewski, Huis, Brzezinski, the top 5. There's Bono Huis in the inset bottom left. Rudy van Buren just outside the top 5 in sixth position.
Nice start from Siggy, third to second, but really great start from Yayovski. We've seen the last 2 races the pole man lose out. This time Erhan Yayovski doing everything right, and he leads that one by nearly a full second already over Kevin Siggy. That's a huge job done for him to get into the top 5. Bit of a shunt in the background there. Didn't see who was in that. I think it was Greco and Williams potentially getting caught up. I'm looking at Van Buren now. Rudy Van Buren, 6th place. He needs to find a place. He's been so quick every weekend, but right now he won't be in the final.
This is the replay of the wheel banging earlier on, and there around went Pinto, and he dropped massively down the order. Yayovski leading, Siggy, Wisniewski, Huis and Brzezinski, the top 5, but it is Kuba Brzezinski in the red car under pressure. White and blue machine of Rudy van Buren. Just a little bit too far away though, isn't he? And he's not exactly putting huge pressure on Kuba Brzezinski at the moment.
It's back to the old classic. Push your rival into a mistake right now, but Brzezinski, I mean, these sim racers, they're more used to this. They're more used to feeling the nuances of the car squirming underneath them, and even bumping over there, over the curbs, the grass. They're more used to it. They're less prone to mistakes, to be honest. So Van Buren is in for a tougher job. He's within 4/10 of Brzezinski, but catching is one thing, passing is another.
Out onto the start-finish straight again. That's 7 of 11 to begin. Van Buren, so he's just got to, as you say, he's got to be aggressive. He's got to go for it, hasn't he? Because otherwise it's pointless. He's not going to win. I think he's already an outsider for the championship and the series, considering he didn't pick up many points in the first round. But here now, you know, 2 no finals made, and he's in big trouble. There's a huge moment there for Yuri Kaspov, almost losing out now to Jerne Simoncic. Remember Simoncic, who won the first ever the race event we had? But here's Rudy van Buren now, right up behind, as they come down under the ABK beer sign and down in towards turn 1.
Frustration starting to build. I think he's slightly closer this time than he has been to, but still probably not close enough as they head down to turn 1. Not a huge braking zone down at turn 1, and that's what you need basically to do a lunge. When there's a short braking zone, a lunge is just sometimes suicidal. You're only going to wipe out your rival and end up in the gravel and hand it all to Boldy just in 7th place, who's just watching, hoping that Van Buren gets red mist and has an attempt.
Chicane and up the hill again. Van Buren all over the curbs. Still nothing he can do. He's managed to gap Boldy behind a little, so that's one positive for Rudy van Buren, is that he doesn't need to have to keep his eyes on the mirrors quite so much across the line. The gap is just 3/10 of a second down into turn 1.
Look how close he is, hugging the apex down at turn 1. Slightly different line, things out. to try and, if not unsettle Brzezinski, just find a little bit of time behind him, because what he has been doing hasn't been working. That won't work. Ran a little bit wide coming out of turn 4, and look, the gap just opens up to Brzezinski. Really frustrating for Van Buren, and this will allow Brzezinski off the hook 6/10. And that's going to mean he can breathe a slight sigh of relief for this lap at least. There's only 2 more after this that Van Buren's going to have a chance.
Yovski's lead, though, is 2.1 seconds over Kevin Siggy. It's absolutely huge as he starts the final lap. Simoncic on the grass. Through the final corner they come, and Van Buren still 6/10 away from Brzezinski. It's not going to be enough.
No. Not probably at this rate. Kastorp looks livid. He looks like he's about to hit a punch up in the bottom left. Just gritting his teeth and grimacing with every moment. He's also stuck behind Baldy in 7th, and he is pretty sure now that he won't be through to the final. This is the last battle then. Brzezinski and Van Buren, 3/10 between them. Half a lap to go. Surely he's not going to be able to do it.
He's bouncing over the curbs, isn't he? Here's Yovski through the final corner. What a rich vein of form. Yovski is hitting at just the right time. He comes across the line, books himself a place in the final with the win. A great drive. Kevin Siggy in 2nd place. Nikodem Wisniewski 3rd. Bono Huis 4th. Kuba Brzezinski 5th. Those are the 5 that will advance through to the final.
So championship leader Erhan Yovski wins again, books himself a place in the final, and surely has to be favourite. There are just 5 more spots up for grabs in the grand final, and they'll be decided in the Jones Soda Last Chance qualifier, which is coming up when we return. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series. It's time for the Jones Soda Last Chance qualifier, because there are just 5 spots on the grid for the grand final available. Our professional racing drivers are going to be battling it out for them. Gabby Chavez is starting on pole position. Let's see what happens.
Chavez on pole, Bradley Smith alongside him, Esteban Gutierrez 3rd, De Francesco 4th, Harry Newey in 5th. Chavez grips the wheel. And away he goes. Good start from Chavez. Smith gets away fairly well too. In fact, the best start comes from De Francesco down into the 1st corner. Can he get past Gutierrez? They're still side by side. They're still side by side for 3rd place. And they're still side by side coming through the left-hander. De Francesco and Gutierrez having a great fight, and in the end it is De Francesco who holds on to 3rd spot. Gutierrez 4th, James Pull in 5th, and Harry Newey has dropped down into 7th place.
Great move from De Francesco, as you say. Gutierrez started ahead, but got muscled out in a 4-corner move. That remains in the top 5. 4th place for Esteban Gutierrez, former F1 driver. Chasing down Devlin De Francesco. At the front, Chavez got a great start ahead of Bradley Smith as well. Chavez's launch off the line was superb, and he was really unchallenged down to turn 1. Smith's got past Chavez.
Oh,
Smith has passed Chavez, who was our pole man, who was untroubled in turn 1. And now Smith is 3/10 ahead, so Chavez must have had a bit of a mistake somewhere. And now Lachlan De Francesco has a bit of a lunge on the inside of Newey. That could be tears, but Newey just opens the door and gives him room, and De Francesco runs wide on the exit. So Newey there just about getting the measure of Lachlan De Francesco. And then we've got a car in the wall behind. That's Sean Galale.
So Galale in trouble. dropping down the order and out of the running. Smith then in the lead. Gabi Chavez in second. De Francesco third. Gutierrez fourth. Benyahir in fifth. And to be honest, Benyahir's now got a 2-second margin over James Pull in sixth position. So Michael Benyahir looking pretty comfortable. Here's a look at the replay of Harry Newey having a little bit of a fight, and that was how Changalal ended up in the walls. 4 of 11. Harry Newey in the bottom left, running in 7th place. Just under a second ahead of Johnny Adam in 8th position. 9th is Tom Ingram. Still Smith leading the way. Chavez in second, De Francesco third, Gutierrez fourth. They're all fairly spread out up at the front, aren't they? There's a yellow flag out there in sector 2, so someone's had a little bit of a moment. Down into turn 1 again. But good to see Harry Newey in the class, because he's done a lot of junior single-seater racing. Stepped up to European Formula 3 a couple of years ago, and a front runner in the British Formula 4 Championship, the BRDC Formula 4 Championship as it was then.
Yeah, finished second. Very quick, Harry Newey, on his day in that BRDC Formula 4. I think it was 2015 that he finished runner-up there. And yeah, he's very quick. Moved up to F3 and now into to sports cars and doing very well. And right here, 7th place, but he has dropped the weight from James Pull in front. So not quite looking like he's going to make the final at this rate.
Whoa, who was that? I think that was Harry Newey flying off the road at the back. Oh, it's a big one. He's come back across the road and heavily into the wall, and Harry Newey's run is over. That was large.
Yeah, wide coming out of the final corner into the outside wall across. I think there for Harry Newey, and he was having a good run, good pace, but that big mistake then will rule him out categorically from making the final if it was already looking tough. Here goes Gutierrez, that's a lunge on the inside of De Francesco, and Benyahir cutting the corner completely, passing Gutierrez there.
Here's a look at the replay coming through the final corner. Newey got well out wide, lost the back end, spiraled across the circuit, and that is a big hit. Gutierrez has dropped down to 6th position in all of that. So Benyahir up into 4th, James Pull in 5th now, Esteban Gutierrez in 6th, but only 0.6 of a second away from James Pull. Gabi Chavez is right on the back of Bradley Smith now as well. So this has been a bit of a slower brewer. No, not brewer. Yeah, it's like a slow to the boils kind of thing, this race. But it's all kicking off now in the closing stages. Oh, and a mistake from Smith, goes quite wide.
This is close for the race lead. Chavez on the back of Smith, and pressure on. I'd love to see a replay of how Gutierrez dropped from attacking De Francesco. Benyahir dropped right over the chicane, and somehow Gutierrez came down in 6th place. So he's going to lose out right now with only a couple of laps to go. But I think...
What's happened there? Chavez and Smith, they came together in the most bizarre way down at the first corner, and they've dropped down to 5th and 6th positions. Chavez has a bit of a laugh and is saying, what on earth has happened there? De Francesco now in the lead, Benyahir 2nd, Pull 3rd, Gutierrez 4th, Gabi Chavez in 5th. That was very strange down at turn 1.
Was that a lag moment that has just caused Chavez to completely rear-end Smith at turn 1, and they've both just... Chavez basically mounted Smith, and they've both ran wide into the barrier. Chavez chuckles because he's in the top 5, and that's enough. Smith was leading, and is going out now.
Wow. So we have got lap 10 of 11, penultimate lap of the race. De Francesco in front, Benyahir, Pull, Gutierrez, Chavez the top 5, and they've got such a big margin now over Bradley Smith in 6th position that they should surely be booking themselves their place in the final. Across the line they come, down into turn 1 again. And De Francesco only half a second ahead of Benyahir. It's a close fight, but they're all just going to be super steady now because they don't want to be knocked out when they've all got a chance of getting through to the final. And in some of their cases, I think certainly James Pull, pretty sure this will be his first time through to the final.
Yep, I mean, it's been a real race of attrition, hasn't it? Gutierrez dropped from 4th down, but then immediately came back up. We're going to see a late move there. I don't think we are. Is that Benyahir going for the lead right at the end?
Here they come, out across the line, and it is De Francesco who takes the win. Great drive with Benya here in second, Pull in third, Gutierrez fourth, Gabby Chavez just about makes it into the final. Devlin, all of a sudden, you won the Jones Soda last chance qualifiers, sort of out of nowhere. How was that?
Well, to be honest, the speed's actually been better this weekend than it's been through most weekends. The speed actually in the first heat in race 1 was actually very good. Just an incident on lap 1 caused us to end up in the LCQ. But the goal, as soon as I entered into the LCQ lobby, was just to make sure, we qualify in the top 5 and we stay in the top 5. The speed ended up to being quite good, and I capitalized when they made a mistake. So happy to be in the final.
So we have our 20 drivers set for the Race All-Star Series Grand Final. But when we return, we've got the Reverse Grid Legends race. Petter Solberg is starting on pole position. Jenson Button is starting at the back. You're not going to want to miss this. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series. Before the Grand Final, we've got a reverse grid race from some of the greatest legends in the history of motorsport. And starting on pole position is Petter Solberg. Let's hear from the former World Rally Champion.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited and, of course, very nervous. But, it's the first time ever I do this circuit driving. So we just have to wait and see, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's been really good fun so far with all the other drivers.
Great. Best of luck, Petter. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Petter Solberg then on pole position. Juan Pablo Montoya alongside him on the front row of the grid for this reverse grid Legends Trophy race in the Race All-Star Series. Fully charged by rocket phones. There we see Petter Solberg in the inset, in the bottom left. On the right-hand side, we're on board with Montoya as we wait for the race to get underway. 13 laps of action about to begin in these McLaren M23s about to get underway. Is that a bit of smoke coming from Solberg's car? Maybe he needs to stop revving the engine quite so much. And he's missed the start as well. So Petter Solberg from pole position. Oh, and he's wiped out as well. Absolute carnage right at the start. And it's all over before it even begins for Petter Solberg. There's more cars off down at turn 1. Montoya it is who has the lead. Darren Turner up into third place then with Dario Franchitti right behind him, fourth position. Carnage at the start, Jolien.
And Jenson Button already up to fifth place as well. Pretty much the back, second last with Magnussen just behind. Magnussen's 15th. Button up to fifth. Franchitti makes it past Darren Turner up to third. Those are the guys probably to watch out for, as well as Juan Pablo Montoya, who has been quick, started basically at the front, especially when Solberg didn't get off the line, and then got involved in the carnage. But I don't think Petter really knew when the race was going, and then when he did start, I don't think he knew a lot about the cars that drove into him either.
No, absolute carnage there. Montoya leading, Liux second, Franchitti third, Turner in fourth position. Button in fifth, Salo sixth, Prio, and Villeneuve completing the top 10.
Oh, Button's round. He went for a do or die on Darren Turner in the background at turn 4, and I don't think Turner saw him coming and presumably turned in, and that was a bit, I think, ambitious potentially. Turner's right in the wall there at the back. I think that one might have been a bit ambitious looking at the quick shot we got from Button. He was already up to fifth. He didn't need probably to be charging through that quickly on guys that we know he's quicker than, but now still going down in 9th place behind Jacques Villeneuve.
Here's a look at the replay then. Talk us through it, Jolien. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he got a better exit, but straight lined it basically for the apex at turn 4, and there's no way Darren Turner would expect that move to be coming, and that's why Darren Turner then ended up in a big old barrel roll all the way to the wall there. But yeah, that one was a bit ambitious there, I think, from Jensen. He's probably just frustrated after the whole last race not being able to overtake Jan Magnussen. This time he went straight for a move, and that was a bit the button move on Pascal Wehrlein in Monaco 2017, I'd say.
Very precise recollection, indeed. Juan Pablo Montoya leading the way, then Tonio Liuzzi second, Dario Franchitti third, Mika Salo fourth, Emanuele Pirro is in 5th place ahead of Prio, Plato, Button, Villeneuve and Montero, the rest of the top 10. And there is Juan Pablo Montoya putting a lap on someone already who's been in the wars. But good drive this from Juan Pablo. He qualified well in Silverstone, but haven't seen him running quite towards the front. And he's got his actual helmet as well, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, I quite like Montoya's helmet as well. It's quite funky livery, isn't it? But he's always been quick. That's the thing with Juan Pablo. I don't think he's had a win yet, but he's always been there or thereabouts in the top 3. And to be honest, the fact that he was starting right at the front was kind of... I don't know how he ended up there after the chaos of the first race, but he was always going to be a bit of a favourite amongst those others that struggled in the first race, given his relative performance. Right now, 4 seconds ahead of Tonio Liuzzi. Franchitti needs to try and clear Liuzzi, and then we might have a fight on our hands at the front.
Button's got ahead of Mika Salo and up into 7th place. What's this replay of here? Is that Petter? Oh, that's Petter Solberg with a big spin down to the chicane, and someone else is having a moment in there too.
Here's Franchitti. This is the move for second place then, on the back of Liuzzi. He's having a good drive, keeping it nice and calm in the orange car. As I say that, I think he's gone off straight into the wall at the final corner. And that's the end of Liuzzi's solid, quiet, consistent drive as he plunges down the order. Plato's up to 5th, behind Andy Prio. Touring car rivalries going to be renewed there in 4th and 5th, Prio and Plato. But Franchitti now up into 2nd, and can he catch Montoya? He needs, about just over half a second a lap to get there by the end of the race.
And there is Jenson Button right up behind Jason Plato. Jan Magnussen won the first race. Let's see if Button can get past Plato in the way he couldn't before. Button to the inside, up the inside of Jason Plato, and that is now 5th place.
And now he's got the other touring car veteran of Andy Prio just ahead. Oh, Button to the inside, and that's both of them off then at the final corner. And Button then just lunging to the inside. I think Prio was maybe a bit wide, a bit slow coming through. And Button's back in the wars. Prio is continuing, but with a lot of damage to the front end there. So that's Plato up into 4th, and Button once again on the comeback trail, but finding trouble. Montoya still leads 5 seconds though to Franchitti. That gap has actually gone up since Franchitti got into 2nd place. So Montoya is showing great pace.
This is a really good drive from Juan Pablo Montoya. And he is 5.3 seconds, as you say, ahead of Dario Franchitti, Emanuele Pirro in 3rd, Jason Plato in 4th on his debut, and running at a reasonable pace, you know. He's keeping ahead of Liuzzi for the time being. We'll see whether Liuzzi can close back in. It's a shame for Tonio, because he was running pretty strongly up in that 2nd place until he seemed to just drive straight on, basically, at the final corner. But here's Juan Montoya across the line to start lap 10 of 13.
Night time in the Montoya household, I think. Is he got his son watching in the corner as well? Or am I seeing things in the darkness? But he's doing a great job in his blue and yellow Tyrrell 89 livery. That's seeing him 5.5 seconds clear of Franchitti right now, and fairly untroubled, and looking set for a first win right now.
Here's Pirro, though, right behind Dario Franchitti. So this is the battle for 2nd place.
Yeah, Franchitti's been chillaxing the last couple of laps. He made his way up into 2nd place, but has since lost a good 2 seconds to Montoya, and now Pirro has caught him. So Franchitti under pressure. This is for 2nd place, and they've got a huge gap of 12 seconds back to Liuzzi now, who's in 4th. Plato's gone walkies. He's down to 7th again, so mistake from Plato somewhere. But here we go, battle for 2nd.
Up over the crest. coming through to start the penultimate lap of the race here, so Emanuele Pirro needs to make the move soon if he wants to get ahead of Franchitti. Under the ABK Beer Bridge, down into the right-hander. Magnusson has just got past Tonio Liuzzi. Liuzzi's dropping down the order, but this is the battle for second. Penultimate lap of the race. Oh, Franchitti goes for the bold move to the inside, trying to get past the back marker, and that is just about worked out for him, and it has not worked out for Emanuele Pirro. That is really good work from Franchitti. He wasn't hanging around and losing time behind back markers there, was he?
No, not at all. And that was it Max Papis they were coming through to lap, and now finally Pirro I think is through as well. But look at that, Franchitti there scything his way through has just opened up a nice nearly 2 seconds to Pirro, and all in one instinctive overtake. Good stuff.
Juan Pablo Montoya, though, starts the final lap in the Legends Trophy reverse grid race here in the Race All-Star Series, fully charged by rocket phones around the Lime Rock race circuit in the United States of America. And Montoya is on the final lap. He's way up the road from Dario Franchitti in second. He did start in second place for this reverse grid after struggling in race one. Pirro in third, Mika Salo in fourth. That's going to be some consistent running, actually, from Mika Salo. Jan Magnusson in fifth. But here's Juan Pablo Montoya through the final corner, and he takes victory in the reverse grid Legends Trophy race. Across the line, Montoya victorious. And immediately headset off, job done. He's off out. Dario Franchitti across the line in second. Emanuele Pirro in third position. Salo fourth. Jan Magnusson in fifth. Congratulations, good race. Not too many fights in the end.
It was good. It's been tough. You know, every race I struggle in qualifying. I got a penalty in qualifying because I left the pits too early, and I got a 10-second penalty. I didn't get to qualify that well, and I got tangled. The problem is when you're in mid-pack, to make it out is so difficult. It was nice, you know what I mean? And these guys have put a hell of a show, and it was nice actually to complete a race without any major incidents.
Yeah, you've always been involved in something over the last 5 weeks. You still enjoying it though? Oh,
I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's frustrating as hell because we're way too competitive. So we all get moody. You should see my wife. My wife is not happy with me when I don't do well.
Okay, well, congratulations, Juan Pablo. See you next week.
All right, thank you.
Juan Pablo Montoya, no one likes him when he's upset, but he won't be upset tonight after taking the reverse grid win. When we come back, we have the grand final in the Race All-Star Series. Can Erhan Yayovski extend his championship lead? Join us in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series. It's time for the grand final. Erhan Yayovski arrives leading the championship, but he hasn't been able to take pole position. Nikodem Wisniewski has snatched that from underneath his nose. Wisniewski on pole, but Yayovski is right with him on the front row of the grid. Let's see what happens.
The grand final. 35 points on the line. Nikodem Wisniewski on pole position. Erhan Yayovski alongside him on the front row of the grid. 35 points up for grabs as the race gets underway. Yayovski's got away very nicely. So has Kevin Siggy, who looks to the outside to try and make it 3 wide. Yayovski leads. Wisniewski into second place. There's a bit of contact there as Brzezinski forces his way past Kevin Siggy. Brzezinski up into third. Siggy down to fourth. Dennis Lind in fifth. Sixth for Mike Epps. Quis, Gunter, Chavez, Jones. The rest of the top 10, big slide. I think that was Jones that was sliding. Ed Jones has gone around. I think Bono Huis has lost a couple of places there. He's dropped down into 10th position, but it's Yujovski leading. Mistake from Wisniewski there, but he goes over the grass and holds onto that spot, and Bono Huis is all over the grass again, fighting with Kevin Hansen now, down in 9th position.
Yeah, hectic start for Bono Huis, down to 9th place, so a lot of work to do. But Erhan Yujovski now with the best place, the lead of the race, with a great start from the inside, just had the line. And Kevin Siggy actually had a good start as well from 3rd, but just got a bit muscled out around the outside from Brzezinski. So really, Yujovski, last week's winner, is now in a great place. If he got maximum points last week, the guys behind, Wisniewski and Brzezinski, Siggy and co, they can't let him run away with this one as well.
No, you're right. Otherwise, they'll have a very tall order to try and sort that out. That's a bit of a mistake there from Kevin Siggy. That could allow Dennis Lind the chance to attack. Not quite close enough, though. Lind in the second of the red cars, I should say, up behind the orange machine of Kevin Siggy, coming through the final right-hander and out onto the start-finish straight again. This race, double the distance. And this is lap 3 of 22. Max Günther attacking Mike Epps. Mike Epps very firm with his defensive move there.
Yeah, he did. I mean, just savagely cut to the inside, but I think that was okay. But then he did perfectly down at turn 1, just to park it on the apex a little bit and not allow Günther to slide through on the inside as Epps ran wide. He managed to stop it well and just defend that one nicely. So now Günther drops towards Chavez more, who's up into 8th place and having a good race, and Chavez with Bono Huis just behind him as well. And we know Huis is quick, the sim racing regular, but he's got a lot of overtaking to do if he wants to salvage some points here.
Max Günther there in the instead, on the left-hand side, the BMW driver in Formula E is running in 7th position. There you can see Bono Huis, the bottom left, running in 9th position. Very busy opening lap for the young Dutchman. All over the place, really, getting involved in all sorts of incidents, but he's still there, still on track in 9th position, even though it's not going to be a big haul of points from running there in 9th.
Here we go, Huis now past Chavez, surely on the inside this time.
Absolutely wheel to wheel, but he didn't quite managed to find the space there. That was so close between the two of them. Gabby Chavez still running in 8th position.
Just so difficult there I'm surprised that with Bono Huis looked like he had the drive coming out of the chicane. Then they might have had a slight touch as Chavez tried to shut the door on the inside, but nowhere through for Huis still. So he's still paying the price for that poor start, where he dropped a couple of places running wide.
5th position at the moment is Dennis Lind in the bottom left, who is the first of our real-world racing drivers. He's up behind Kevin Siggy, but he's dropped quite a way back from Siggy now, so it's Mike Epps who is the man putting the challenge on in the battle to be the best world racer out there in the race All-Star Series, fully charged by rocket phones. And what Dennis Lind can do, because he's holding on at the moment, but Epps is going to want to close in and get past. Erhan Yujovski, though, is out in the lead of the race, comfortably ahead of Nikodem Wisniewski now. He's just been gradually building that gap up, hasn't he?
Doing everything right, Yujovski. 1.6 seconds, I mean, gradually, it's just suddenly rocketed out by a good half second. So he's doing everything right. And Wisniewski, in turn, is under no pressure at all. You can see just in the background the red car of Brzezinski, but he's nowhere near Wisniewski either. So the top 3 all pretty spread out right now. Then Siggy's still a second and a half back from Brzezinski. Then we've got that fight between Lind and Epps, and Günther's right with them as well.
Here we've got Gabby Chavez and Bono Huis still right together for 8th position, and still nothing can be done between Chavez and Huis. Oh, wide from Chavez! Maybe that was just his line.
Very wide. I think that was a bit wider than normal. Tucked in. The next corner really is where Huis is really strong, into the chicane coming up now, but he's dropped back again through the faster corners. He just can't follow, and now is the time where he is quicker through the chicane. Look, cuts, opens up the final part of it, and now he finds some good time, under 2 tenths away, but he'll just lose it in these two corners here. The right-hander, where you need a bit of downforce, he's lost a 1/10.5, and then can he keep it through the sweeping final corner? He loses another little bit. That's the problem.
Epps in the yellow car in 6th position, and Gunter goes a little bit wide. They're both trying to chase down Dennis Lind in the red car in front. Gunter's off wide again, down towards the first corner, and just when that battle looked like it was closing up a little bit, there's a few errors here and there, and it drifts away again.
Tyres going off as well, potentially something to look at. Lind making is twice as long as the heats for these guys. So, particularly for the pro racers, Siggy being in 4th place, the end of that sim racer battle, basically. What we're looking at is Lind in 5th and Epps in 6th, being the top pro racers. Maybe not as used to dealing with the degradation, certainly in sim racing.
Onto the ABK bridge once more. Down through the final plunging right-hander to start 17 of 22. Hanyajowski 2.3 seconds up the road from Nikodem Wisniewski in 2nd. Uber Brzezinski 3rd, Kevin Siggy 4th, Dennis Lind in 5th position, and then it is Lind, Epps, Gunter right together, and Ruiz has dispensed of Chavez. Chavez all the way down in 12th place.
Yeah, so he might have more than just passed him. He might have dispensed of him. I wonder, in the end of all of that, because Chavez, as you say, has lost 2 places. Might this be a replay? Magic. You know what? I think Chavez probably dispensed of himself there, just by coming across. I think Ruiz had an overlap, and you're in to leave a bit of space if the guy's got an overlap. So Chavez basically just had his the rear of his car as he moved over, taken out by the front of Ruiz. All blame on Chavez, and he's come unstuck with that one.
4 laps to go. Hanyajowski leading the way, but all the time this bottleneck keeps building behind Dennis Lind in 5th position as he battles to be the best of the real drivers, because there's points on offer for everybody. The top sim racer will win a test on an F1 simulator, and the top real world racer will earn money for a charity. So there's a lot at stake here in this battle between Dennis Lind and Mike Epps, especially as Dennis Lind didn't score very well in the first race at Sebring a week ago.
Nor did Mike Epps, to be honest, because he got caught up in all the shenanigans with the back. So Gunter, I don't remember scoring well, if he even raced last week. I always feel a bit rude when I say that, but I don't remember him in last week's racing. And they've all got Bono Ruiz now joining them after he's managed to escape the clutches of Gabi Chavez. So now we're in a 4-car train, few laps to go. And as you say, Jack, there are important points at play, not least for Bono Ruiz, who's in the overall championship standing fight.
So here they come up over the hill. You're absolutely right about Bono Ruiz, how he would love to swap an 8th place for a 5th position, which is what he can see if he can get past the 3 cars in front of him. But he's rapidly running out of time across the line to start lap 20 of 22. Comes Hanyajowski leading the way, and then there's this Lind, Epps, Gunter, Ruiz fight down into turn 1 once more.
Can we see Bono Ruiz making a difference and trying to pass Max Gunter now in the last couple of laps here?
That is Bono Ruiz we see on our inset in the bottom left, dropping down the hill through the right-hander, over the line to start the penultimate lap of the race as he's out on the grass. Bit of a mistake there from Bono Ruiz, and that could have cost him a run as they come down into turn 1 for the penultimate time. Now into the left-hander of turn 2. Ruiz immediately, though, despite that mistake, gets right up to the back of Max Gunter. But this man, Jolien, Hanyajowski, he was always a front runner, don't get me wrong, as he comes through to start his final lap of the race. He was a front runner, but the last 2 weeks, he's just pulled something out of the bag.
Yeah, he's found his form, hasn't he? When the points are counting. So I think Wisniewski's head's gone. I think the way that he's dropped back suddenly from being on pole position, he's either just absolutely shagged the tyres early on, or he's just decided that it's not his day, and he's just fallen right back towards Brzezinski now. But to be honest, Jajowski's pace is the best in the race, and it looks like he's going to take his second win in 2 weeks.
Well, it was Nikodem Wisniewski that had pole position, but Hanyajowski Coming towards the final couple of corners now. It's got quite close between Brzezinski and Siggy for third place, but here at the final corner, out across the line, it's 2-2 for Erhan Yayovski in the race All-Star Series, fully charged by Rocket Phones. Extends his lead at the top of the championship. Brilliant drive. Wisniewski second, and it is Kuba Brzezinski that holds on to third place, and Dennis Lind is just going to be best of the real world racers as he comes across the line in 5th position. But here's a look at the results. Erhan Yayovski taking the win, Nikodem Wisniewski in second, Kuba Brzezinski across the line in third spot, Siggy 4th, Dennis Lind 5th, Epps, Gunter, Huis, Hansen, Gutierrez, the rest of the top 10. Dennis, congratulations, best of the real world races, but you had some big pressure for most of that race.
Yeah, Mike was putting us on a lot of pressure. It was for sure not easy, but with these cars, there's a lot of dirty air, so it's very easy, so to say, to slow down in the right places, and he has no chance, basically. So I got him. I got some weird damage after me and Siggy hit each other on the straight. So my car was oversteering like no tomorrow. So I was running out of tires in the end. So I was just a second off from them. So I had no chance of catching them, and it was just all about trying to keep Mike in the right position at the right time.
Here's a look at the All-Star Series leaderboard. Erhan Yayovski extends his lead. He's now 14 points clear of Nikodem Wisniewski in second spot. Bono Huis's tough run means he drops away in third place. As far as the real-life drivers are concerned, Gabi Chavez and Esteban Gutierrez both tied on 42 points, with Gunter and Epps not too far behind. Well, it all comes down to next week. The final round of the series is in 1 week's time. Can Erhan Yayovski wrap up the championship title? Will it be Esteban Gutierrez or Gabi Chavez that will win in the real world races? And what carnage will unfold in the Legends Trophy? Join us then in the next round of the Race All-Star Series, fully charged by Rocket Phones.